What's up everyone, Kyle and Tom here. You're watching Drivin and Vibin. Today we're talking about why we're using lithium batteries in this Airstream renovation and what benefit they have. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We got Tom here, electrical engineer and genius, to help us understand lithium batteries. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me here.
and getting our whole system wired up.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a whole bunch of batteries right now.
It's awesome. If you guys are interested in learning so much about batteries, hop over to the Mortons on the Move channel. You can see how Tom put in a Tesla car battery in their fifth wheel. It is awesome, so we'll put those links below. So let's talk about what lithium batteries are. Is the technology new, and really how do they differ from lead acid batteries?
Well, lithium batteries, lithium technology is not a new thing. It's been around for quite some time, but it's becoming more and more prominent in larger power applications. A lot of the reason for it is that manufacturing practices have brought the price down considerably, and battery management systems that keep lithium safe are becoming more and more prevalent and accessible. So you're starting to see lithium be used in large power systems like we're putting in here, than in place of where you used to see it a lot, phones, smaller applications that you could recharge regularly.
So what is the benefit of us switching over to lithium from lead acid? I know they weigh considerably less, but what else are we getting out of them, because the price difference is pretty high?
Yeah, in general, I'm a huge proponent for lithium and going that route, because while the price is high, there are so many benefits to lithium batteries. Some of the benefits are extremely long life cycle compared to any lead acid type battery. You should get lifetime life out of these batteries in your coach, even using them heavily, which is pretty incredible. Actually, over life cycle cost, these batteries should end up cheaper than even a lead acid alternative, because you won't have to replace them so often.
And so we're using the Battleborn batteries, and they have a 10-year warranty on there, and they tell us that we can take it all the way down to zero.
Yes.
I mean, is that true? Is the battery going all the way down to zero?
No, not necessarily. But while Battleborn and a lot of lithium batteries are rated at their ampacity, their amp hour rating is actually how much power you can use out of the battery. So you can take it all the way down to zero out of the 100 amp hours per battery that you can use. And they have protections and electronic built into every single batteries that will actually take the batteries offline if you hit that low, the low level that becomes unsafe for the batteries. So yes, you can run these batteries until they shut off, and you're not going to hurt a thing.
That's cool, and they look like lead acid batteries to me, and they look like they connect like lead acid batteries. So if I had a lead acid battery in there, could I just exchange it, and would it be good to go?
In most circumstances, the Battleborn batteries, yes, you can exchange like for like, especially in an RV. Most of the RV battery chargers and things like that are going to work great with the Battleborn batteries. I would not recommend putting this in like your car. I wouldn't replace your car, because cars have a very, very high current draw to start the car, and then low application draw after that. And cars have a lot of transients. There's a lot of mess in the car power system due to the alternator things kicking on and off. A lot of mess that can damage probably the BMS systems in these batteries, and why we actually put a special battery guard between these batteries and the truck when we hook this up in your system.
Yeah. So good for RV and marine use, or good for like residential mobile use and off-grid use?
If you need a lot of power and you need it in like a household type application, yeah, they're a fantastic option. As you said, they weigh so much less.
So much.
And that is incredible. I think these batteries are probably weigh about half or less per battery in the same size, but lead acid batteries you can really only use about, if you have a 100 amp hour battery, you're only supposed to take that down about 50%. If you take it down any further than that, you see significant life decrease and damage to the battery over time. So these batteries, since you can take it all the way down, that you get a true 100 amp hours, it actually makes them a quarter the weight or even less than a typical lead acid.
Yeah, I mean, I know ours in the fiber stream have been used and abused, the lead acid ones, and I'm not getting nearly the life cycle out that we got in the beginning of them. So I'm interested to abuse these to see what the verdict is on these.
Another huge benefit to the lithium batteries that you don't get with the lead acid is that there's something called the Pukert curve, which is when you actually draw a large draw on the batteries. A lead acid battery, that curve, it degrades how much power you can actually get out of the battery, and these basically don't have that curve. So it doesn't matter if you hammer it as hard as you can, and that basically means if you hammer it, you're using like a couple thousand watts. If you use that out of lead acid, you're going to get a lot less power out of that battery, even though a lot less power than its rating. But the lithiums, if you use that same amount of power, you're actually going to get that amount of power out of the battery still.
So we're working with 500 amp hours, which is 5 100 amp hour batteries. I don't even know what we can expect to use. Like, we'll be able to run our AC off that, you think?
For a period of time, definitely. We're putting in a large enough inverter. I mean, you could run your AC off one of these batteries, or even a lead acid for a very short period of time. The more that you add to the system, the longer you can run it. 500 amp hours of usable capacity, and that's usable versus if you had 500 amp hours of lead acid, you can really only use 250, but you have 500 amp hours of usable capacity. And amp hours, it's kind of a confusing terminology. What we're really looking at is kilowatt hours. How many 1,000 watt hours can you run? And if we multiply 500 times 12, you're a bit over 5,000 kilowatt hours, which means you can run something, if it was 5,000 kilowatt hours, you can run 1,000 watts for 5 hours, or 5,000 watts for 1 hour. So that means that you could run a 1,000 watt stove for 5 hours on these batteries. That's a lot of power. If your AC is drawing, you know, around 1,500 watts or so, you should get probably 3 to 5 hours of runtime out of that on your system.
That's pretty cool, because I know we couldn't even run our AC on the last one we had, so that's good to know. But now, say we take them down to zero. Do they charge up more quickly than the lead acid batteries? Because that's what I've been told. But is that a myth or is that true?
The lithium batteries have much lower internal resistance, which allows them to take a charge much, much quicker than a lead acid. And again, you have similar losses in that Pukert curve and such while charging, and those losses are almost negligible in lithium. So the recharge time can be much faster, because you can really hammer them with a lot of current, and they'll take it, and they'll charge almost to full charge with that full current, whereas lead acid tapers off a lot quicker. So yes, they recharge much faster.
So last question I got for you is the safety of lithium batteries, because I have read online that people are worried about lithium batteries exploding in their rigs.
Well, that is definitely a big concern, and while I am a proponent for lithium batteries, I'm also a proponent for safe lithium battery usage. And well, lithiums can potentially be dangerous. We've all heard about cell phones and laptops and everything exploding and catching fire, and they have so much energy in them. But with electronics that monitor the batteries, make sure nothing's going wrong, and take the battery offline in a very dangerous situation, the cells get out of mismatched, or the voltage goes too high or too low, or they get too cold. That is a drawback of these batteries. You can't go below freezing with these batteries. They have to stay warm to function. If any of those conditions happen, the electronics will take them offline, and these batteries have those electronics built right into them. These batteries are also a lithium iron phosphate battery, which is a safer technology than some of the lithium ion, something like what I'm using in my RV.
Oh, all right.
But even those batteries with proper BMS systems, battery management systems, can be very safe.
And just to plug your video about that again, you did protect your whole system yourself, right? And you set up the protection mechanisms that they can watch that in your video?
Yes, I have protection mechanisms that watch the battery temperatures, watch the voltages, and will take the system offline if anything gets out of spec. So if you are thinking of trying to use lithium, you can't just take a straight lithium battery and hook it up. It will catch fire and explode. So that is a risk.
Yeah.
I think that Battleborn has done a great job. I am familiar with their system and their technology, and I think this is a very safe battery.
Well, thank you so much for not only your time today, but helping configure and install this system.
Not a problem. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and just as you have shared your knowledge today, thank you again for along every step of the way sharing the knowledge, so I can get a better understanding of how the system works.
Of course.
So thank you all, Vibe Tribe, for watching. Make sure, hop over to Morton's on the Move. Check out Tom's Tesla video because it is very cool to see him put that car battery in. But we'll see you guys next time.
Should we increase their lithium?
Yes, please.